let's have a look at the last civilization we're going to do an overview on of the new Definitive Edition civilizations will be the Cumans. Let's just jump into it. Let's have a look. You would have seen in the previous video of the Bulgarians, I think that's where I mentioned it. Most of the 4 new civilizations have a very cavalry heavy feel to them. So they are a cavalry civilization as well, the Cumans. And in my personal opinion, they are the strongest of the 4 new civilizations. And we'll see now why. Alright, so let's have a look at the Cumans. So we have the Cumans, like I said, they are a cavalry civilization. You'll see why I think this civilization is a little broken and will most definitely get nerfed. They will be one of the first ones to get nerfed because I think they are pretty strong. You can build an additional town center in the feudal age already. In the original build of Definitive Edition, it was actually unlimited additional town centers, which made it completely broken. So this is already the nerfed version of the civilization, where you can build 1 additional town center in the feudal age. This can have so many wide-ranging implications for your economy, both good and bad, because to consider it is 275 wood and 100 stone. That's pretty massive investment to make into a town center while you're still in feudal age. I only see that becoming viable if you do have a prolonged feudal battle. And then the second bonus that makes this civilization even more broken is the fact you can build a siege workshop and rams in the feudal age already. So not only can you build an additional town center to grow your economy even more in the feudal age, you can build battering rams in the feudal age already. So you don't even need to go to the castle age to build siege workshops or additional town centers. You can do that in feudal already. I see both of these, especially the siege workshop and the rams, I see this as an extremely strong bonus, especially on maps like Arena. So if you're playing Arena and you're up against Cumans, you need to be careful. You need to watch out for this. You will definitely see rams in your base in feudal age still. Also, one thing that could be, that I've just thought of, that could be useful for having a town center that you can build in feudal age. Imagine the douching opportunities with this. So you can basically douche your opponent, do a town center drop on his town center, and still have your own town center while still collecting resources, creating villages, and clicking up to castle age while you are douching your opponent. The next bonus they have is that their cavalry, all cavalry, are 10% faster starting in feudal age. So this will be given a massive advantage to any scout rush that will be overpowered in the hands of someone in the playstyle of Hera who has the ability to keep his scouts alive for longer in the feudal age, and also is super annoying with those scouts. So that's going to be pretty impactful as well. The unique unit is the Kipchak, which is a cavalry archer. We'll have a look at that in more detail once we get to the castle. So now the unique technologies that we have for the Cumans. The castle age unique technology is step husbandry, which is that your light cavalry and your cavalry archers are trained 80% faster. Another reason why I say this civilization is overpowered, just look at this technology. And this is in castle age, where your light cavalry and your cavalry archers are trained 80% faster. So you'll basically pump them out instantly. Let's move on to the Imperial Age technology, which is Cuman mercenaries. This gives your team members 10 free Kipchaks in their castles, elite Kipchaks in the Imperial Age. This will also be absolutely massive. We'll see now what the cost is of that once we get to the castle, and to see how viable that might be in team games. And your team bonus is that your palisade walls have plus 50 HP. I think this is a bigger deal than it seems on paper, since if you are getting pressured early in feudal age or even in dark age with a drush or early feudal age rush, you are able to palisade your villages in, and it will take just a little bit longer for those palisades to be broken down by any enemy units that wanting to come in. Alright, so that is it for the civilization bonuses. Let's have a look at the technology tree. We see that they do not get Arbalest, they do get the elite skirmisher. Cavalry archers are not fully upgraded. Even the skirmishers are missing bracer. So your skirmishes are not that strong in the late game. You do miss Bracer in the Imperial Age, and also your cavalry archers, even though you get Thumbering and Parthian tactics, which are both essential upgrades for your heavy cavalry archers, you do still miss Bracer. So cavalry archer might not be the way you'd want to go in the late game, even though up until Castle Age and even early Imperial Age, your cavalry archers will be pretty useful. They're just gonna fall off at the end of Imperial Age because of that lack of Bracer. Let's have a look at the barracks units now for the Cumans. We see they get upgraded all the way to Champion, all the way to Halberdier, so they get all the barracks upgrades. You get supplies, you get squires, and you get arson. And then they also get all of the attack and defense upgrades. So even though they are classified as a cavalry civilization, they can also be classified as a cavalry or infantry civilization, since they do get all the infantry upgrades necessary. The only difference is they just don't get infantry bonuses. Let's move on to the cavalry. This is the second civilization that gets the Steppe Lancer. So they do get the elite Steppe Lancer, they do get all the way up to Paladin, and also the light cavalry line all the way up to Hussar they get as well. On top of that, they do also get all of the blacksmith upgrades. So they get fully upgraded paladins, fully upgraded hussars, and fully upgraded steppe lancers with bloodlines and husbandry in the stable. Oh wait, and they get castle age camels. They don't get heavy camel, unfortunately, and they don't get elephants at all. None of the four civilizations get elephants at all, and the Cumans are only the second civilization to get camels, although they do not get heavy camels. But their knight line, the cavalry line, the light cavalry line, and the lancer line are fully upgraded all the way to Imperial Age with all of the blacksmith upgrades as well. Add to that the fact that with your Castle Age unique tech, your light cavalry line getting trained 80% faster. They're already pretty fast, and now they're almost graded down in half of the time, which is going to be absolutely ridiculous for late game raiding with hussars. I mean, just one stable drop behind enemy lines late game can cause absolute mayhem in just a few minutes. Alright, so let's move on to their siege workshops. We get fully upgraded rams and fully upgraded onages. We are missing out on heavy scorpion and bombard cannon, but with these two, you don't really miss that so much. So you do get the full upgrades on that, and we'll have a look at the university as well later to see if we get, wait, let me just see. We don't get siege engineers, which is a little bit of a drawback. So you don't get that extra range on the siege onages, but it at least is siege onages and also siege ram that you do get. As we have discussed the blacksmith upgrades already, we do get all the upgrades except for Bracer, which does cost your cavalry archers a little bit in the end, especially considering that your unique unit is also a cavalry archer. So this does make it a little less viable for you to use, but you could still use cavalry archers all the way up until Castle Age and even early Imperial Age before Bracer becomes that big of a deal. Move over to the docks. This is pretty dismal, to be honest, for late game. Well, not really. Only real problems are that you don't get dry dock, you don't get shipwright. The most common stuff you do get galleon, you do get fast fire ship. You are missing out though on cannon galleons completely, and you're missing out on your heavy demolition ship as well. So that is a little bit of a drawback in those late game, water battles. But up until Castle Age, although you don't get any bonuses for your water units, for your docks, you do still have pretty much all the upgrades that you do need up until Castle Age. So they are still semi-viable at least. Let's go to the university, and this is absolutely horrible. This is on par with the Goths for the worst defense. That's a problem with the Cumans. You need to, same as with the Goths, you need to play the Cumans extremely aggressively, and that is also why you do get access to the town center in the feudal age, and also siege workshop in the feudal age. That is just a little bit of a nudge to make you play a little more aggressive. Well, let's just have a look first. They miss stone walls, so you don't get stone walls. Same as with the Goths, you don't get stone walls or stone gates. You only get palisades. You only get watchtower, no guard tower, no keep. Castle Age, you can't get treadmill crane. You can't get, obviously, on fortified wall because you don't even have stone walls. no architecture, no siege engineers for your siege weapons, no arrow slits, and no bombard tower. Defense wise, they are on par with the Goths for having the worst defense in the game. I think they do have an advantage over the Goths in that they have a much better chance to actually get to the point where that wouldn't matter and actually be able to apply enough early pressure with the units that they have at their disposal. Alright, now for the interesting bit, we get to the castle. Let's have a look at the civilization's unique technologies first. We get steppe husbandry, which, like we have discussed, gives your light cavalry and cavalry archers, make them train 80% faster. And what makes this an even stronger unique technology is that it's actually, for a castle age unique technology, it's dirt cheap. It costs no gold. It's only 200 food and 300 wood for this. So this will definitely probably be one of the first technologies that anyone gets after getting up a castle. This will be the first thing that you get. Cuman mercenaries, 650 food, 400 gold, and that gives all of your teammates 10 free elite kipchaks in their castles, which is absolutely incredible considering that the kipchak costs 60 wood and 35 gold. Just for 650 food and 400 gold, you can get 10 free to each of your teammates. So let's have a look at the kipchak. The unique unit for the Cumans, the kipchak, is a unique cavalry archer with rapid fire attack. It's strong versus infantry and weak versus skirmishers, as you would expect from a cavalry archer. Although the problem with the kipchak is that the fact that you're missing bracer. The kipchak in itself already has a very low range. It only has 4 range. Missing bracer, you only have 5 attack and only 55 hit points. So that's pretty weak unit. So I don't see them being used all that often. The advantage for the kipchak though is their relatively low gold cost. They only cost 35 gold compared to normal cavalry archers that cost 60 gold and the paladin line that costs 75 gold. So they will be a little more viable considering that they do cost only 35 gold. And also the best part of this is that your unique or your elite upgrade for the kipchak does not cost any gold. So only for 1,000, I say only, it's still a lot, but for 1,100 food and 1,000 wood, you can upgrade it to the elite. So you don't need any gold to upgrade it. So you can create a lot of them for relatively cheap. What I predict the kipchak will be used in is in massive numbers. They'll be used to swarm the enemy instead of just smaller raiding units. And let's move on to the monastery. In the castle age, we do get all of the castle age monastery techs. So your castle age monks will be top of the line. You do get pretty strong monks in castle age, but the problem is in imperial age your monks do not improve by anything. You're missing illumination, you're missing theocracy, and you're missing block printing. Illumination and block printing, especially, two pretty important technologies that aren't even that expensive, that you will be missing sorely in the Imperial Age. In the town center, your normal upgrades, you'll get up to handcart and town patrol, as with most other civilizations as well. Moving on to the economy upgrades and the mining camps, you get gold shaft mining, but you are missing stone shaft mining, which is not that big a deal. Many players don't even get stone mining, let alone stone shaft mining, so that's not too big a deal. At your lumber camp, you do get all the upgrades up to Imperial Age to 2-man saw. You do get all the market upgrades and also all your mill upgrades up to crop rotation. So you basically get all of your economy upgrades bar stone shaft mining. It's the only one that you're missing, which isn't that big a deal. So all in all, my general overview for the Cumans, I think the Cumans will be a pretty overpowered civilization, especially on maps like Arena where you start with stone walls. Because they don't get stone walls, the Cumans will be incredibly strong. The fact that you can build an additional town center in the feudal age and you can get a siege workshop with a battering ram in the feudal age already, this will make the Cumans exceptionally strong. And also the fact that your cavalry, all of your cavalry move 10% faster starting in the feudal age. So you can see some some minute-arm scouts and ram pushers in feudal age on arena. This civilization will probably see some nerfs post-release. That is my prediction. Let me know what you guys think the nerfs will be, if there are any nerfs, or if the civilization is balanced as is. Thank you for watching the video. Remember to subscribe by clicking on my face to the left. To watch what I'd like you to watch, click the top video on the right. If you'd prefer to see what YouTube thinks you should watch, then click the bottom video. So until next time, happy gaming!